All right, lovers, there is no way that I could make this up. I am telling you, you guys want to, you guys want to join me for this conversation. So I'm going to share with you something that has went viral, and I was watching the Daily Blast Live here in Denver, Colorado, and that's where I heard, like, in detail, but I had been hearing that this pastor had said something disturbing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow you guys, give you permission. I'm going to give you permission to listen to this now. So we're going to play a little clip of it. I found someone who actually has another version of it. And this pastor said this, and then we're going to play it first. And after we play it, then we'll have a discussion. I'm your host, Dee Shields.
Ladies, here's the thing you need to know about men. Don't give him a reason to be like this distracted boyfriend. You hear me? Don't give him a reason to be looking around. Hello? So, okay. Why is it so many times that women, after they get married, let themselves go? Why is it? Why do they do that? Now look, I'm not saying every woman can be the epic trophy wife of all time, like Melania Trump. I'm not saying that at all. Not most women can be trophy wives, but you know, like her, maybe a participation trophy. I don't know, but all I can say is not everybody looks like that. Amen. Not everybody looks like that. But you don't need to look like a butch either. But you say, how can I do that? Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question. I'm so glad you asked that question because you're in my office, you and your husband, and we're talking about your marriage, and you asked me this question about what can I do about that? All right, if you were sitting in my office, here's the first thing I'd say to you, and boy, I hate to say that this is why I don't do marital counseling anymore, and that is...
You're not the client for it. You're not the person for it.
So how important is this? Let me tell you something. I have a friend. He has put a divorce weight on his wife. That's how important this is.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Makeup is a good thing. You know, one little boy said, why do girls wear makeup perfume? He said, because they're ugly and they stink. You don't want to be ugly and stink.
Okay, so we are going to have to go through this like one little bit at a time because this is like extremely worse than what I saw earlier. So, he said he has a client that has a divorce weight limit, right? Now, I happen to know a husband that has a weight limit. I don't know if he actually told his wife the actual number, but I do know a husband that has a weight limit, and, you know, only he can answer as to why he has that limit. So I will try to book that husband. I will work hard to try to book that husband. But yes, I do personally know a husband that has a weight limit. But listen, you guys, we're going to break this thing down, you know, section by section, just to kind of have me rebuttal each little section of what he said. But he basically said a pastor of a congregation that appears to be, I guess, God-fearing, in that particular religious belief, appears to be a Trinity gospel preacher. I may have it wrong, but I will look up his credentials on that. And he appears to be preaching the gospel of Jesus. Just not in this particular sermon. So, here's the deal. If all those things are true, if I can verify that, you know, he is definitely a Trinity gospel pastor and that he preaches a sermon of Jesus, then I say, how more lost can religion get? How more lost are you guys going to get before you actually wake up about that Western field fed to you BS? You know what I'm saying? Like, if this last year and this year and a couple years before have not proven to you that it has been feeding you a lot of BS in that particular culture, in that particular belief set, it's really time for you to reevaluate what you're sitting and allowing someone to say to you every Wednesday and Sunday. Like, you need to take the time. I'm not talking from some place where I'm tone deaf. I literally had to take the time and take a hard look at religion, something that I was birthed into. Okay, I didn't get a Bible when I didn't get a bottle when I was born. I got a Bible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people that all the time. Like, I was born into the Trinity gospel belief. My father taught it. He made sure that I knew it. I had to go to a church that believed it. We sat and did it every Wednesday and Sunday and all the days in between. Lake of fire, fire and brimstone, all that was taught deeply. And very tragically, years later, at the ways that it impacted so many people, because it tends to be the judgmental that I've always said that it has been ever since I left the church. You see what I'm saying? And then I sit this in front of you, and it's like the universe has dropped it in my lap and said, "Here you go. Here's some receipts on what you've been trying to tell the people." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not telling you not to have a sense of camaraderie. I am not telling you not to, have a congregation of people that you believe in the same belief sets. But I do need you to be able to have your own mind if you decide to wallow in that bush. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you have to have your own mind. Like, you have to know as soon as you hear somebody, especially Fatty McNasty, go look up the video on YouTube. Like, type in Pastor. Let me see. How did I type it in so that I could find my own version for the show? Let's see. Type in. I'm sorry. Okay, it's updating right now, so I can't tell you. I think I typed in Pastor says lose weight and look like Melania Trump. So how much more can I tell you guys that you need to evaluate the people that you insist on being a part of your thinking process? Your environment speaks ethos as to who you will be, who you will become, who your children will be, who your grandchildren will become. You have to carefully evaluate the people that speak into your life. I had to get rid of a lot of people. I also had to travel really deeply because I was in Central Texas and I was just being fed BS religion, And I had grew up in Austin, Texas, where I was fed BS religion growing up. So because of that, I had to just move it all aside and say, is there anybody in the world of motivational speaking? Because that's all most of these dudes are. You get what I'm saying? Even the women that do it, they're just motivational speakers. They can sit and rest everything they say on the Bible, but half of what they say doesn't coincide with the words that they say that they believe in. And how dare this person, if he does happen to be a person of the Trinity gospel that is speaking the gospel of Jesus, and as that piece of literature is written, then you are not following the concept of what that literature says that the man was. Whether it's to be believed or not believed, that's highly up for question when it comes to D. But whether it's to be believed or not believed, you have to understand that if you just take the words in that book at face value, like you would any other piece of literature, 7 habits of highly effective people. You took that at face value and you followed it according to the words that it is. Isn't there another How to Be Rich book and all these different books? You take it at face value, right? And then you kind of look at it and you research a little bit and then you try a couple of the steps and you see that it's working for you and you just kind of go that direction. But you can't reinvent the wheel. There are not 155 versions of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. They're not. There's just that book. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't go reinventing the wheel. And that's what religion does all the time. So at what point do you get your own voice? 401 years ago, black people, they forced you over here and fed you this religious BS that controlled your mind. At what point do you want to fight for our ancestors that never could? At what point do you want to say, I'm not sitting in here. If I go to this church right here, I'm going to make it a major necessary thing. That if I go visit this church, I'm going to be tapping on the shoulder. And I'm talking about bitch slapping. Like all the people that are black up in this church. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a bitch slap you. I'm just joking. But no, seriously, like, I am going to come to the church and tap you on the shoulder and have a conversation with you. Because why are you there? That's the worst of what they fed to you. Okay, get back on topic. So this pastor says to his congregation, okay, let's see if I can get it back. Hold on. This pastor said to the congregation, I'm going to have to go all the way back to my history real quick because my app decided to log itself out. So sorry about that, you guys. All right, so here we go. All right. So anyway, so how did I lose that already? All right. So anyway, so this app decided to so they say this dude's name is Stewart, right? All right. So pastor demands that women be like Melania Trump. Okay, here it goes. I just want the short version one. Okay. Can you hear that?
Don't give him a reason to be like this distracted boyfriend.
Okay. First of all, ladies, don't listen to anything that pastor just said. He said, ladies, don't give him a reason to be like a distracted boyfriend. There is nothing that you do that creates a distracted man. Because you are your own person. You are walking your own path. And what they fail to tell you in religion is that you have the free will to make the decisions that you make, just like your man has the free will to make the decisions that he makes. So if he's distracted, he's just a whole hoe. There's nothing that we can do about it. You know what I'm saying? Men go through these whole stages, okay? So there's nothing you can do about it. Don't put yourself down or think that there is something that you personally have to do because he was distracted. Now, if you need to make some decisions and say, well, you know what, I can spice it up. You know, I can turn around and bring a little bit more to the table. Let me get a little extra booty in the bed, get a little extra cushion in the, breast or something like that. Like, you can do that. And if you decide to do that, that's on you. But because he was a distracted boyfriend, that's on him. He want to be a whole asshole. Let him be a whole. You get what I'm saying? This is a different kind of sermon. This is the one y'all not getting up in the pulpit. Okay, so, this pastor basically said to the church these things all while in the same sermon had the audacity to tell women that if they would go out and try to look like Melania Trump. So you want people to all look like Melania Trump. Do you know that she can't say that? Okay, do you can't say that? All right, you can't say that either. All right, just call me on my phone. I'll tell you what I think about that. So, anywho, if you don't got my number, you just gonna have to miss out on the truth of what these shields think about that. We're not all gonna look the same. We are all created differently. And if we take it back to the literal literature, right? The apocalyptic literature was one thing in the Bible, but the actual literature pieces that exist in the Bible, those particular pieces of literature, they have their own path, right? So in that particular piece of literature, you will find different passages that say we were all created in God's image, right? So if you're going to go in that direction and that level, I believe that God is the universe and that the universe is a woman and women, we just don't make mistakes. So, you know what I'm saying? So we put out for the people, like the universe is like a collective of women that just salt bathe across the universe and say, you are this, you're going to look like this. You're going to look like Rasputia. You're going to look like Halle Berry. You are going to look like Kim Kardashian. You are going to look like Angela Bassett. You are going to look like Idris Elba. You are going to look like Jamie Foxx. And it just was a host of different people looking different. Everybody's not the same. That's the gift from the universe. And to walk in that and to know that you bring whatever greatness that's inside of you to the table, sitting next to Melania Trump in the same airline seat. Because one of us is so doggone small, she can fit in the little crack in between the seats. You know what I'm saying? But I said that I wouldn't do it. Okay, so BHD. All right, so there's the next thing.
You hear me? Don't give him a reason to be looking around. Hello?
And did I tell you that Pastor Stewart is far from gorgeous? When the universe was dishing out her levels of gorgeous, she just jumped over to my family and just sprinkled all the dudes in my family with gorgeousness. Like she just decided that she didn't want Pastor Stewart to get any of that. Did I mention that to you? So Pastor Stewart didn't even get gorgeous to be able to talk about gorgeous. You understand what I'm saying? Like, my brother is gorgeous. My nephews are gorgeous. My son is gorgeous. We come from gorgeous. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of gorgeous happening in the family, right? So because of that great gift that we're thankful for every given day, grandsons and nephews, and like just because of that, uncles, because of that great gift, and I'm just praising them and lifting my family up right now. But literally, because of that great gift, they can have a conversation. I could call my brother and we can have this conversation live right now on my show. And he would definitely give you all the reasons why God definitely chose him and crafted him in a special way, right? And you should believe that. But I'm telling you right now, Pastor Stewart got passed. And maybe because the universe always knows the type of person that we're going to be, because who we are tends to be something that's created at the beginning of time. Right? So who we are going to be is the free will that, you know, they saw that Pastor Stewart was going to make some really stupid choices. So they already knew, let's just not give him looks. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the women that are the universe, right? So anyway, yeah, so he don't even have any room to have this conversation. Like his wife probably left him, if not physically, mentally, a long time ago. It's not just me. You need to go take a look at the pictures.
So, okay. Why is it so many times that women, after they get married, let themselves go? Why is it?
Women aren't the only ones letting themselves go. So he says, why do women let themselves go? Women are not the only ones letting themselves go. Men do it all the time as well. But when you love someone, they say I drop jewels every time I'm on doing one of my shows. They get the funny and they get the jewels. When you love someone unconditionally, like you love them, you are loyal to the existence that they are. You are grateful to the universe for who they are as them just being themselves. You are meeting that person where they are. And because you love yourself in that way, you're able to authentically do that for your significant other. Then you're not saying that they let themselves go. Is there going to be a time when they kind of get all out of whack? Of course. But what are you not doing to motivate them? Because your position as soulmate is to say, look, we look fat. We need to do something. We need to go work out. We need to really get it together. Let's go through this together. Let's put this healthy food in our body. Let's get some apple cider vinegar on a daily basis. Let's get some kombucha in our life. Let's get some greens in our life. Let's juice. Like all those things, and you're doing it with love. The same love that you have for yourself, you're making sure that your lover does the same thing. Okay? Then you won't have the stupid language that is Pastor Stewart in saying, my significant other let themselves go. You tacky. He don't even deserve to. He don't need to be with you because you tacky. She don't need to be with you. You tacky. That's not the way to say that. Relationship Coaching 101. I'm $50 plus a session, depending on how dramatic your stuff is. But anyway, those are all not jokes. That's a plug. But anyway, you guys, listen. I'm telling you, this pastor's out of line. And he didn't teach you anything productive. And the fact that he is just in some cleansing, rehabilitation, pastoral care right now and is going to come back to the pulpit, you are crazy if you stay in that church. You are crazy. You have free will. The universe gifted it to you. Get out. Hashtag get out. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out as fast as you can. Shields said it. Okay, so is there anything else that I need to dissect in this week, you guys?
Now look, I'm not saying every woman can be the epic trophy wife.
He has never even seen an epic trophy wife. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry. That is the one video that I will pull forever. Something from it the entire time. But, I mean, I just can't listen to this. Like, here's the thing with me. I'm standing up and I'm saying something. Now, because a lot of my family members and friends, once they learned that, then they were like, I'm like, dang, where all the church invitations go? Because everybody used to want me to go to church. But I'm not one that, I got to walk to the front, because I'm taking extensive notes, right? So I have to walk to the front and just tap Pastor on the shoulder. Pastor, can we speak for a minute? Now, can I talk about why you said X, Y, Z? I am deliver us from evil. They tell me, and I know. I know this because you should be the same way. And I'm just trying to explain to you guys that I am me and I bring me, but you can bring you too. Why do y'all sit there and let them sit on the pulpit and just say the most out of line whack stuff? In the name of what? Pastor appreciation? Sit down somewhere. I can't believe that you guys are considering bringing him back to that stage to feed you another BS and say, I'm sorry a year from now. No, that's not okay. That's definitely not the way for it to go. So I just wanted you guys to hear what happened. Go review the video for yourself. Like all things in life, go watch it for yourself. Get from it, from your sanctified soul of salvation, what you can get from it. But I just gave you what you needed to get from it. And I hope you received that well. That's awful. That is awful. All right. And so I'll make sure on social media that I shared this particular one. Let's do that right now. All right, so I'm going to tweet it out. iamdeeshields. Find me over on social media. Find me on social media. iamdeeshields. iamdeeshields. I put the raggedy video up, and then I will also put that up on Facebook as well. So look, I'm disappointed that happened, but I'm not shocked. And I hate that I have to get into that stance where I have to say I'm disappointed, but I'm not shocked. But that's starting to be where life is going right now, right? So that's pretty much all that I have to say on that. The trial has started for the murderer, that is Derek Chauvin. And so we are definitely going to follow that closely. We're going to follow that trial closely and just justice for George Floyd. That's how we could end this. Let's close this with, let's get justice for George Floyd. Let's do right by him. Contaminated jury. They had a selection of people and they sent them home. That's almost like a contaminated jury, right? But listen, let's do the best that we can to put out into the atmosphere that the Floyd family will get justice. Okay? The Floyd family will get justice. Let's speak that into existence. It's only right. It's only right. Right? All right, so I just shared that over on Facebook. I also shared it over on Twitter, and that's the original video for which I went from today. There's so much more to break down in that video, but let's just close it out for now. And let me get some feedback from you guys on what you think. So tell me what you think, and we will come back to the conversation later. Whew. I'm not shocked. Just why? At what point are you guys going to get tired? Because I'm telling you, at what point are you going to get tired? That's all I'll say. I'm not going to tell you what I have coming up because, so at what point will you get tired? That's it. That's all that I have. I'm your host, Dee Shields. Please make sure that you support me on all the platforms. I am on Instagram. I am on Twitter. You can also find the interviews that I do telling the stories of different people with wonderful conversations on Saturday. #iamdeeshields. You also can find me on More Tea with D. So More Tea with D, that is one of the podcasts. Lyrics Breakdown, that is one of the podcasts I co-host with the Sugar Honey Iced Tea on Honey and I. That is also one of the podcasts. This one that you're listening to right now, I Am Dee Shields, that is a podcast. And hey, I'm unstoppable, so I'm sure there's more. Wherever you can find me, you probably will be able to find me on social media before you can get my phone number. Okay. Tell your friend to tell another friend to tune into the show. Thanks, guys.